I'm Don Peoples, President of Butte Central Catholic Schools, and welcome to We Are BC TV. Today, my special guest is Head Maroons track and field coach, Dan McGree. Dan, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
You've been involved in our track program for an amazing 30 years. That's pretty remarkable, but I think you've done an amazing job through the years. You were head coach for most of those years. You're back after a short stint of being an assistant, but you've been there for 30 years.
30 years, yeah. Yeah, I was lucky enough to, when I got out of Gonzaga, there was a jump. Well, Freddie Bull was in charge, and he needed a jump guy, and so I did. And then after Fred, remember Tom Bird was here for a little bit. And then after Tom, then I jumped in. Yeah. And then when my kids got to the point where they were T-balling and busy, Zach Steitzer took over, and now his kids are T-balling and busy, so I'm back.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, there's no question that the McGree name is synonymous with track and field at Butte Central High School. And I know your siblings were all great track athletes in your day, but it really is a family tradition.
Right, it is, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I love, a lot of people don't, have a hard time of coaching their own kids or their own family members. But for me, that's been part of the joy of it, really. Right. I mean, I love coaching kids, all kids. But getting to know your nephews and nieces and having a different relationship with your children, it's been great for me. I'm sure, I think track lends itself to that, though. It's a little more laid back and it's a little more individualized. So there's, you don't have to, it's not like a football game where it's a lot more intense. So So I think the relationship, like for you when you were coaching your kids, is probably harder in different sports. But with track, it lends itself to.
Well, I think that's the great thing about track. I mean, you've got kids like your daughters, and we've had some outstanding track and field athletes. So it's their primary sport, where they train year round. They do indoor things in the off season, and so you've got that kind of athlete that really that they're just really good at track, and that's their primary sport. And then you've got kids that may come out because they want to get better in another sport, and that's the beauty of track. The skills and the athleticism that's developed through track really translates into better athleticism for I'm the football coach. I see kids that go out for track and become faster. That makes the football coach happy. Right. And I know the volleyball coach and the basketball coach love to see those kids jumping higher. Right. So it's really unique in that aspect.
Right. And it really does lend itself to that, and that's what I've tried to do. I coach everybody hard. I mean, I try to help them as much as I can. But there are, like you say, some true track athletes, but there are some that just want to get better at other sports or just need somewhere to be that's kind of a fun place to go after school. And so I try to help them all. And really, we're lucky at Butte Central. Obviously, kids are great. I mean, all kids, Butte High kids, everybody. I mean, I'm not saying that ours are any better, but it's just a joy to coach them because they're thankful, they work hard. Even the ones that aren't pure track athletes give you everything they got, and they let you know, hey, can I do this today or whatever, and it's just great.
Well, as a coach, I know it's just great to see kids involved and participating. And the one thing I've noticed about your track program through the years is I think kids really enjoy being part of it.
Right.
And that's really fulfilling as a coach.
Yeah, it is. It is. And that's why I love it so much, because it's just, you do see the kids come back. And, we just had our meet, last week. And thanks again for doing all those squats, picking up shot puts. But everybody comes back.
Yeah, that's pretty cool that those former athletes come back and want to be supportive. And I think that shows that they have an appreciation for their experience.
Right. And that's what I'm hoping for, And then I've always told the kids, we want you to do the whole Butte Central thing. We want you to be respectful and work hard at school and do everything and just be good kids. Yeah. Because you're only fast for a little teeny minute, but you got to be a good person your whole life. And that's the more important thing, really.
Well, and I agree, and I think you talk about the Butte Central experience. A lot of these kids are 3, and I know Egan Lester's on your team, and he's a 4-sport athlete. He goes from track practice to baseball, to football in the fall, to basketball in the winter, and we have a lot of those multi-sport athletes. But there's just so many opportunities for kids to participate and excel and enjoy that team experience.
Right, and it's great. And really, you've really done a great job with with the whole facilities and the coaching staffs on all coaches here are wonderful, and work so hard. But for us, I mean, to have a place where, you have an indoor long jump pit and have this weight room and have, the access, I mean,
that long jump pit's really a cool aspect.
it's amazing.
I love it on Sundays during the winter. You've got, and one of the things that you always do is you open it up to kids from other schools too. But I mean, it's really cool. In the middle of January, we've got kids long jumping in the MAC.
Right, exactly.
Where else can you do that in Montana?
And they come back from college, and they come from Butte, and they come from other towns, and so we're just so, and that kind of lends the whole Butte Central experience too.
Absolutely.
Because we're just trying to help people.
Well, and today I was jumped on the elliptical in the weight room, and Lindsay McGree's in there, back from college.
Right.
But we have a great training facility in our weight room too.
Right, absolutely. I mean, the facilities are just unbelievable.
Right.
I mean, we've been lucky. My good friend Charlie always says, good coaches or great athletes make good coaches, and that's kind of the truth. But the facility, I don't think it's any, I think it pretty much corresponds. Having an indoor long jump pit and having the success we've had in the jumps in the state of Montana has to go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's so we're lucky, really lucky.
Well, let's jump into. I want to talk about the McGree tradition. Your daughters have all been outstanding track athletes. Whitney participated in track at Carroll.
Right.
Rach was on the MSU team. Lindsay's on the MSU team now.
Right.
And now your youngest, Riley, is tearing it up, having a great year. So it's been pretty cool coaching 4 amazing daughters as athletes. Huh?
Right. It's been fun. And we've had a lot of luck,
But they work hard, though.
But they've worked at it,
Absolutely.
And I even say, to go back to, we were talking about Dougie earlier, it's no secret that Dougie's a good basketball player because he earned it.
Right.
And I think my kids and all the kids at Butte Central have, they spend the time.
Yeah.
They come on Sundays and they get in the weight room and they do what they're asked of but it's been fun. Having them all. I wish Riley was a little closer to the other ones, although it worked out great. We had the McGree lay, they called it. Remember, they had my 3 and then Lacey. And they set the school record and were second at state that year, and it was a blast. Yeah. That was one of the funnest years ever.
So there's definitely some track genes in the McGree family, though. There's some speed and some jumping ability. I mean, some families, aka the Peoples family, we weren't born with that quickness gene, but the McGrees certainly have it, right?
Well, it goes in hand in hand. I've never made a basket, so it depends on your perspective. But yeah, no, we've been lucky. All
but
the
then
way
you
back.
throw the hard work on top of it.
Right.
It just doesn't. You just don't. You're not born without the hard work. You can't be successful.
Right. Yeah. You're right. And I brought my little list, because I always get nervous. I wasn't sure where we were going to go, but in the 30 years I've been here, I've had 23 state champions.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
But most of them are, McGree's. Oddly enough, and
so I was right on that gene thing, right?
Right. So you had just jumpers and hurdlers and.
There's 23 state champions since
I've started, yeah, and not all jumpers. We've had really, javelin throwers and shot putters and discus throwers.
You've had a lot of kids aside from the McGrees going to college track and field.
Right, had a lot of luck. Yeah. Ferreters and the McGees. Connor and Abby and my girls, and I mean, there's just.
Absolutely. We have Cutter Thatcher and Zeb Antnoli are both competing at the college level right now. Yeah. Along with Lindsay.
Right. So it's just, we've had a lot of luck getting kids to go to the next level.
That's a testament to your program.
Well, and I appreciate that. Thanks. And but it's great. It's really important, especially just to give kid another opportunity, because they're lucky here. They get a good education and they get a lot of scholarship money. But if track is there's a lot of opportunity. Not just Cats and Grizz, but Carroll and Providence,
and that's all the new thing now. Montana Tech has track, so even more opportunities.
Right. And so these kids, if they like it, they get a chance. And not to discount your program, but I always tell them, if nobody's going to come after you in the shot put ring and try to hit your head or anything. So if you want to try it in college and stay healthier,
that's right.
That's a good way to do it. So. Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your team this year. I know you've got some kids that are doing well. I mean, at the Tomich last weekend, I heard the 2 letters PR,
right?
Which is personal records, and that's always the thing the kids strive for. But kids are getting better every week, and now we're down to the home stretch. We're 2 weeks away from divisionals, and
Right.
And state track meets just around the
Just
corner.
around the
So let's
corner.
talk about some of the kids on the
Sure.
team right now.
Great. Yeah. So we'll go to Dillon tomorrow, and that'll be kind of a little slower pace for us, just because we already had 2 meets this week, and then Livingston and then divisionals and state. But you're right. The personal record, and it's been really fun this year because it's a whole new perspective for me, even after all these years, because without track last year, you have kids that have never come out, like Brian Holland.
And he's placing in your meets.
Right, and he's right up. He's placing in meets and getting a personal record every week. And for Brian, Carroll football is going to love him. He's fast. He works hard, and he's just willing. He ran the mile yesterday. I mean, how do you get?
I thought that was a misprint in the paper when I read that. He said he ran the 1,600 meters.
It's true. They were.
I don't think we could get him to do that on the football field in 4 years.
Well, Brett Charlton, she's one of your teachers and a former Carroll track athlete. And she's helping, and they were joking and said, if you run the mile, I'll buy you a pizza. He was like, well, I'll run a mile. So he did, and he's just
awesome.
willing. He runs the 100, the 200. He throws, and he's getting better every week. And so that senior class, Brian, Amira Bolton is just having a great year.
Great kid.
Yeah, just hard worker, and she's one of your stalwarts on every sport.
Right.
And one of the ones that works the hardest and spends the most time. And then you already talked about Egan a little bit. He's another senior that's having a great year. Had a personal best in the triple jump yesterday, and is at the top of the long and triple, in our division. And John Fisher is the last senior, and
another great kid.
Just unbelievable. Yeah. Just great kid, hard worker. My trick now is I just got to try to keep him healthy and just kind of get ready for the end. That's
for sure. And that is sort of the trick you want those kids healthy at divisional and state time, right?
Right. And I kind of alluded to that. And that's why in Dillon tomorrow we won't. I want the younger kids and the kids who need opportunities to get them, but the ones that are already qualified or are just a little bit banged up, it's a great day for them to have a day off. So we're lucky with that because with the qualifying standards you can mix and match.
That's really a good deal.
It is a good deal. Yeah. And I got a little pea brain. I was poor Chad when that came out years ago. We were the only school that voted against that because I'm a traditionalist.
Right.
Well, you always qualify. It's divisional. We always have. That's what you do.
Right.
But then when you try it, and then you realize, like with my Rachel, she's running real good, and then she gets sore foot. Well, it's pretty nice to give her 2 weeks off, and turn her loose at state. Exactly. So we've used it to our advantage, and it is a good idea. Right. It's a really good idea.
I know you have some young kids that are doing well too. And, let's talk about Riley. I know she's
so she's having a great year, and I was just thrilled for her. She had knee surgery during COVID, and so she would have missed last year anyway. But her work ethic, and again, kudos to Butte Central and to Carrie Williams and to your program here. Boy, they work hard.
The rehab thing.
Right.
It was a long road to rehab for her. She worked hard at it.
Yep, and she worked hard at it. But now she has the fastest both hurdle races, and the long jump. She has the best marks in the state right now.
Right.
And she's qualified in 5 events without the relay. She qualified in the 1, the 2, both hurdles, and the long. And we can only do 5 events at state. So it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So yeah. So
well, you have Kyle Holter's done well in the long jump and the high jump.
Right.
You've got the McGree twins that are both doing well. Zane and Ella.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, Kyle. Back to Kyle. I mean, he just so athletic. Just a great long jumper, great high jumper, and he just has never really done it. And the same with Zane and Ella and all the younger ones. Their potential. I don't know how good they could be, but they'll be good.
Right. It's exciting to see freshmen and sophomores doing well.
Exactly. Zane.
Because track is a sport that you get better as you get older and stronger.
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Usually girls start a little faster, and then boys usually about junior years when they kind of hit their stride. Right. So for them to be this good this soon.
It's exciting.
Like with Zane, that I think he's just going to be a really good triple jumper. He just kind of gets it. It kind of clicks for him, and he's so long. But it's hard because he's 6'4" and he's 15.
Right.
So to get everything kind of going one direction, sometimes it's funny because I forget how young he is.
Right. Exactly.
And then Ella she was born to throw the jab.
Right.
You
And she
know.
she's a natural runner too.
Right. Great runner, really fast.
Strong.
Great
Strong
long
athlete,
jumper.
right.
But just, she's only, the second time she ever threw the jab, she threw it like 119, which is, unheard of.
Right.
She's so young, she doesn't realize how good she is.
Right.
I think. So all those kids, it's just been a joy to be around them. They're just good kids.
Great. Well, this is crunch time, so I know you guys will work hard and get those kids ready and finish strong. That's always been the mark of your team. It's at the end of the year, is those PRs are PRs.
Right. That's our plan. Every week we've been getting them and getting them and getting them. But you're right. We focus on the end, and track lends itself to that too. For you have to win every game because you have to. For me, it's just survive and advance. All I have to do is get them to state and give them a chance, and have them in top form at the right time, and that's the plan.
That's cool. Well, what's really exciting too is when I walk around the elementary school, there's another generation of McGrees running around. There's a bunch of those kids down there, so it looks like you put in 30. You probably have 30 more to go to get all those McGrees through.
Maybe I can talk to one of them, my nephews, and say, "Hey, you want to step in?" But no, I enjoy it. I love it. It's great.
Well, Dan, thanks for being here today. Best of luck with your team down the stretch. It'll be exciting to see how the divisional and states ends up, but we're really fortunate to have you at Butte Central, and congratulations on 30 years.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me for 30 years.
I don't know if I'll be around at the end of the next 30 years, but
oh, you will.
Yeah, that'll be well into my 90s by then. But thanks for all your great work at the school.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for being here on We Are BC TV.